Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here.
This is one of Banks's sites, the same company what's wanting to move into Sharlston, into our village. And that dust what's coming off there while they're taking the overburden, that muck away, it's silica dust, and that's the most dangerous dust what anybody can breathe. Everywhere is going to be like this, and there's whole communities going to suffer with this noise, with this dust, and with this terrible, horrible sight.
The wind always seems to blow from the west, which will blow right down here, right down to the school. I mean, I didn't realise till I started working at junior school down here how many children there are with asthma.
It would appear that perhaps this area, within perhaps a 20-mile radius of my village, appears to be standing on shallow seam coal. And that seems to give the opencasters some kind of immunity to plunder whatever is there.
There are prospects of them going all the way around this village. Different sites all the way around us, and we could be stuck in the middle of a lot of great big holes all the way around us.
You can't close a colliery down and within a year put it on agenda to outcrop surroundings of a village where you've just put all the young men and middle-aged men out of work. You cannot do it. It's an insult.
The colliery was there in its splendour, a gigantic modern colliery there, basically not hurting anyone, just giving employment for this area. And good employment. We know the tragedies of mining, but there was certainly lots of laughs and lots of comradeship and solidarity.
Steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here.
The people here have been welded out of steel, same as all mining communities. We had the 1926 strike, where this colliery Sharlston was solid. We had the 1972 strike, where this colliery was solid. We had the 74 strike, where this colliery was solid, and the 84-85 strike.
It was a very, very close-knit community during the strike. And I think that closeness is still here. They had the hardship, and the hardship brought them together. And they realised that if they kept together, they could win through, they could survive. And I think that keeping together is coming through with the opencast mining as well.
In 1993, when the colliery closure announcement was given out, there was at least 500,000 people marched on the streets in London. From our colliery alone, we took 10 buses. Imagine taking 10 buses, that's 500 people. My colliery ceases production on Friday. My colliery has millions and millions of tonnes of untapped reserves. It's always been profitable, and I can't see any reason on this earth why they're shutting a colliery what can make money for this country and keep people employed.
And I think there was a plan, and they knew that they could get opencast mining, they could get coal by opencast mining. And the plan was, shut the pits, get all these miners out of work, they're causing us too much trouble, we'll go and get the coal another way.
When plans first went in, and we got to know about it, and Eccles were up, so we all got together and started, and we've been fighting ever since, right up to now. We meet here. At the moment, we're meeting nearly every week while inquiry's been going on. We average about 30 at his meetings. But I mean, there's people all over the village that are behind us. When the inquiry first started, there were loads of people from the village went to town hall. It was packed that first day.
The fact that people have gone to the inquiry day in, day out, sat there all day, it's just phenomenal. You know, a really humbling experience to see the commitment of people locally. The thing about the public inquiry is it tries to give the impression that there is no place for emotion, there's no place for people's ordinary heartfelt views, and somehow devalues that unless you're an expert.
This particular first site here is what they call Dean Field site, which is one of Budge will be more than likely opencast in this foreseeable future. And then when you go to the next site over, it's the site what Banks is wanting to opencast. As we've been looking over the site, the potential site, what's going to be opencasting, lo and behold, to the left of us is the Queen's Counsel, Mr. Horton, who's defending Banks's in this public inquiry. And another guy what works for Banks's, one of the agents, so we've dropped on the hornet's nest. Rotten part about it, I'd like to smack them all in gob, but just daren't.
Our experience has been that if we gain planning permission and we're allowed to start the site, that a lot of people are pleasantly surprised that the impact is much less than what they feared, and we believe that that will be proved to be the case here as well.
They put this exhibition on again to show us what it would be like when they had finished. I mean, they hadn't even asked us if they could start.
They're going to plant thousands of trees.
And over half of the acreage of land which is to be used for the site will be restored to woodland.
And footpaths for us to walk on.
And also wetland areas and a fishing lake.
And I think if anybody mentions another lake, well, quite honestly, if we get many more lakes offered, we're going to be better than the Lake District. So we demonstrated outside there, and we took our banners and we stopped people and said, do you realise what's going to happen? Did you know those fields over there aren't going to exist unless you fight for them?
It's an absolute turmoil we don't want. We don't need.
It's turning to the point where you can't just speak nicely to people. You can't just ask them to tone it down or to do this, because they don't listen. So you shout louder and louder and they still don't listen. And so then you have to take action.
Michael Heseltine is directly responsible for 18 million tonnes of opencast coal in Britain today, and we thought as we better take it home to him. How would he like it in his backyard? And so we went along with planning application and started to dig his land up. For it's hard, it's hard, harder than they'll ever know. And if they don't play the game, then the price of coal's the same. And the Pithead Baths is a supermarket now.
If they get defeated on this one, it'll make you feel like fighting for others that come up round us.
We are still together and we'll fight. And I think even if this open casting doesn't come along, but some other tries, we shall fight them.
If this public inquiry fails on our behalf at Sharlston, I will be stood outside them gates there where Banks will be coming on with the plant and not allowing him to come on, and if I'm arrested or anything, I will stick it out. Enough is enough, and I believe there'll be a lot more people in this community which will support that form of action.